Hi folks, how you all doing? Cross6 here. Hope you all have a wonderful day. Welcome to the channel. For today's little instalment, we are on Oyster Bay in the new SU122-2, which is this double-barreled fun. That's the only way I can describe this tank. It is a lot of fun, it really is. I managed to get it out of the auctions. It's about the only one out of the bunch that I actually fancied getting my hands on. So thankfully, it cost me 10,000 gold. So all those who are sitting there saying, Wallet Warrior, Wallet Warrior. Yeah, I can't really argue that one, can I? But I did want to get my hands on this thing. You see, my only defense to this is I'm trying to bring you interesting content. And sometimes I've got to dip into my wallet in order to try and do that. So for the efforts that I'm making to try and bring you decent, interesting, funny, fun-filled content to put a smile on your fizzer, I think the least you could do is hit that like and subscribe button if you like my videos. Go on, you know it makes sense. So we're on a tier 8 matchup on Oyster Bay, and this is the usual typical tank destroyer spot that I generally tend to come to during the game. And of course, where I'm looking now is the other side that I generally tend to go to. And I can see that Baraska's over there, so I've got to keep my eyes peeled for him. That Barask, I tell you, that tank in the right hands is an absolute beast, and I haven't quite mastered it yet. I generally tend to go having some okayish games to every now and again I'll have a really decent game, but there's no fluidity to it. You know, there's no, I can't, it's not something I can keep repeating all the time. I either have a crap game or a mediocre game, and now and again I'll have a decent game, but I'd rather have more decent games than the crap games, like everybody, of course. But you've just got to master that tank, because it's got nothing for armour, as does this tank. It's got nothing for armour to the front, and everything will penetrate. But what it does have is the two cannons, which in my opinion is a lot of fun. It loads quite quickly, it fires quite quickly, so yeah, but if you get yourself into trouble, you'll be going back to the garage very, very soon after you take that first shot. But this is what it's like. It's accurate as you like. It's really good, and it's a lot of fun. It does put a smile on your face. To me, it's like a mini ship barn, the FE 4005. Albeit it doesn't do as much damage as that, of course, but it does. It just kind of puts a smile on your face, you know, when you get that nice shot going into your enemy that you're shooting at. You know, me and my mates were talking last night when we were playing tanks, and we were on Mountain Pass, and the old Mountain Pass I thought was a really decent map, and I know that Wargaming decided to patch it and do different things to it, which in my humble opinion I think they've just ruined that map now. If you start on the south, then effectively you're going to be absolutely mullered most of the time, because the south seems to have, the north seems to have the advantage now. Am I right? Is it the other way around? No, it's the other way around, I believe. And you know, I just wish Wargaming would just sometimes just leave things alone. I really do. Because that map used to be a lot of fun to play, and now I just find it's quite, especially if you start on the north, you know, the bit where you've got to go left to go to the bridge and all that kind of crap. It just doesn't feel right anymore now, and the ice road doesn't get as used as much as it used to. And if you're in a tank destroyer, you forget it. There's not many places you can go there now, and I don't know whether Wargaming have got an ulterior motive as to whether they want to try and stop the camping element of the game. I don't know. I might be wrong in that. I might be completely wrong in that, but I just think they've made a huge mistake. Watch this. Oh, you gotta like this tank. You gotta love this tank, especially with this double barrel. It's just a lot of fun. It really is. And the damage output on it is like 700-800 when you hit them with both barrels, which again, as I say, is a lot of fun. But as I was saying, Mountain Pass. Yeah, I think they've just changed some of the maps, not for the better. And another one I'm not particularly keen on now is Stadzanki. Again, I just think they've ruined it with that bit that they've done in the middle. It stops you as a tank destroyer player. Now, I predominantly play tank destroyers. I do play other tanks, of course. But with the tank destroyer, I just enjoy the playstyle with tank destroyers, as some people prepare the playstyle with SPGs, you know, or heavies, or mediums, or lights, or whatever. And I just think they've kind of they've just made it so it's not fun anymore in that regards on some of the maps. And again, one of the questions I've always wanted to know the answer to is, remember we had all these other maps and they've just disappeared. They said they were taking them out to revamp them. Barask, you made a huge mistake there, mate. You came out and you fired both rounds, and what you're going to do now? Now you're on a long reload, huh? So I've got friends, you haven't. But this, you know, and I just think, well, where have these maps gone to? How long has it taken them to revamp it all? Because we had loads of maps in the game that just seemed to be overnight just disappeared, and Wargaming obviously said, oh, we've taken them out of the rotation in order to update them and do all these other things. And I've never seen any of them since, and I think that's probably pushing on nigh on 2.5 years ago. I mean, how long does it take to revamp a map? I don't know. But come on, Wargaming, bring some maps back, will you? Because these maps that you've got at the moment are starting to get so laborious and just boring to play most of the time. And I mean, the new things that you brought in, as I said, like Mountain Pass and Studzanki, in my humble opinion, I just don't think have made the game better. The playability of the game any better. It is, if you're in a certain class of tank like a heavy or a medium, yeah, it's really good for you. And I think they're taking a lot of stuff out as well for the artillery, the SPGs. Now, you know what my thoughts and feelings are on SPGs. I'm not the biggest fan of them, not by any stretch of the imagination. But most of the maps that you get on now, unless you get on a big wide open map like Malinovka, Muravanka, Prokhorovka, the artillery really struggles to be competitive, and in my humble opinion, not that it counts so much, but I think they've made a huge mistake. And I know they've got to try and cater to everybody, and you'll always get your whiners that'll whine and moan about this, that, the next thing, and you took me out on this map and it's not fair, it's so overpowered, and it's not. Let's be honest now, artillery isn't overpowered. Yes, artillery is an absolute pain in the arse. It really is at times, especially that little Lafifi artillery. That thing is just, it drives me insane whenever I see them on the opposing team, because I know 9 times out of 10 I'm going to get slapped senseless by it, and I think it fires every 3-4 seconds or whatever it is. Doesn't do a huge damage output, but it you know, it's death by 1,000 cuts, isn't it? So I don't know what Wargaming's aim is, or where they're thinking of taking this game in the future, but I think there's some things that they can make amends with, and by bringing back some of the old maps and getting rid of some of the updates that they've done to, like Mountain Pass. I think that's a huge mistake that they've done there, and it's a boring map to play now. It really is. Well, in my opinion, it's boring. Only I'm probably being biased because I enjoy playing the tank destroyers, as a lot of people do. And I'm not really a medium type guy. Well, I mean, I play mediums and I play heavy tanks and all that kind of stuff, but they're not my favourite class of tank to play. I enjoy where you can sit and think about what you're doing and where to go, where's the best place for you to go to try and get shots in. And I'm certainly no Unicom, not by any stretch of the imagination, and I doubt I'll ever reach that accolade. But I do generally tend to have okayish games, more okayish games than the crap games. But it's like anything, isn't it? You have a brilliant game, and then all of a sudden the next 4 or 5 games are absolutely atrocious, abysmal, where none of your shots seem to land and all that. What's it called, Cross? RNG, yes, the Russian number generator. Although they did do a thing I read online about whether this thing is actually true or not, whether the Russian tanks are always OP amongst every other nation in the game. And apparently they're not, believe it or not. Apparently they're not. But there you go. It just makes a change to for somebody else to tell me I'm talking crap instead of myself. But well, it is what it is, isn't it, this game? We're not forced to play this game, I guess. But I do enjoy the game. I love the game. And I have a lot of fun in this game. But there's just some things that I just find really repetitive and just getting to the point where you just, oh, God, not Mountain Pass again. This map is just so garbage now they've updated it. So I just think Wargaming could do a better job with it and bring it all back. But anyway, is he going to cross in front of me? Look at that now, it's too slow. I was too slow. I could have had that shot there, or at least taken the shot. But I didn't do it. I hesitated, I paused, but he's going to come up there. And I'm going to be waiting for him, just as he sticks his fizzer just above that hill. Is he going to do it or not? Or is he going to see sense and think, oh, perhaps there might be something aiming at me if I come to the brow of that hill? That sounds like I've got a strategy, doesn't it, That I'm not just playing off the cuff. But here we go, look at this. Did I call that one or what? I didn't do as much damage as I thought I was going to do there. But there you go. Now is he going to get me here? This could be the end of my game. Oof. Just went sailing across the top of my head. Of course, I wouldn't know that, would I? Because I'm only, just doing... This is a recording. And I'm just doing the voiceover, so I'm trying to make it interesting. As I've said many, many times before, it's filler. It's filler. Just to keep your attention going, Either that or you've fallen asleep by now. Now, that Ron Borsig was there. And I'd really like to get a shot back at him. I really would like to get a shot back at him. And talking about the Russian number generator, there you are. Stay there. Stay there. That shows you how accurate this cannon is. It really does. And that's what I like about this tank with the double barrels. I mean, if you play something like the Object 7032, it's nowhere near as accurate as this. Not even close. Not by a long stretch of the imagination. But it is a fun tank to play. And if you didn't get one, or if you did get one, what do you think of it? And have you played it much? And if you didn't get one, then it sucks to be you, doesn't it? But talking about the Russian number generator, over here in Blighty, they're talking, or they're bouncing around about conscription. Some form of national service again for all the youngsters. Because apparently we haven't got enough soldiers in our military. Allegedly. I tell you, honestly, governments, they haven't got a clue over there. They really are. Why can't people just get on and be at peace with one another and just trade with one another and be happy and help one another? Why have we always got to be fighting? Why have we always got to be trying to maim and kill and pillage and all these horrible, horrible things that are going on in the world at the moment with, Israel and Gaza and, the Ukraine and Russia and North Korea? Why can't we all just get on? I don't understand what the big deal is, the big to-do that everybody's got to be better than everybody else. I just don't get that. Why can't we just keep ourselves to ourselves and say, look, we don't mean you no harm, you mean us no harm. Let's just trade and let's be friends and help one another, with our agriculture or trading whatever it is that we trade with. And I don't understand why we've always got to try and get one over on the other person. It just doesn't make sense to me. But what do I know? That's another subject for another day, I guess. My reasoning behind it all is it's just people are just mental. And again, one more thing I'll say before I move on from this subject. All these politicians that these warmongers that go ahead and try and force people to go into war and get killed and maimed and all this kind of stuff. Have you ever noticed that none of their family ever are out there in the front lines, ever? Their sons or daughters, they're never out in the front lines. It's always the plebs. It's always the cannon fodder that's out there, isn't it? Come on, Brass, come on round. There you go. He walked straight into that one, didn't he? But, yeah, I mean, if I was the leader of this world, this is what I would do. I would say any person that wants to go to war, any politician that wants to opt for war, then they have to don the old uniform, grab a rifle, and they've got to be right at the front, out there in the thick of it. There would never ever be another war ever on this planet, and we could all just start getting along and being happy with one another. But there you go. That's Crossed Us 6-2 tuppence worth on that subject. I don't know. I nearly won the lottery last week. I nearly won the lottery last week. I was only 6 numbers out. It's an oldie but a goldie. Right, that Ron Borsig, I know he's round there. I know he can't get up to my left, so I'm just going to push round and see if I can take him. And I see that little ELC, who happened to be the star of the game, I might add. So if you watch this, buddy, well done to you. You did a cracking job. Check that Ron Borsig out. Now, all we've got left is the artillery with about 30 odd seconds left to go. And then it's game over. And quite astutely, he ran across there to take out the arty. So fair play to you, mate. But anyway, let's move on to the end game stats and see how we did. So we did quite well. We did over 5,500 damage, and I believe we made over 175,000. Came top with damage and kills, got top gun and all that. But anyway, guys, until the next one, I hope you enjoyed this one. It's a good money maker, this tank, so it's, if you've got it, fair play to you. But till the next one, guys, have a wonderful, wonderful day. Take care. Bye-bye.